Hey, so this video is a little different than the videos that I post, and I think uh, I don't even know right now that whether or not I'll be posting this video or not. But I think this is one of the self-introspecting moments when I'll be like breaking down uh, some particular problems, some particular feelings, uh, how I see myself, how I see my thoughts, how I see my feelings. Yeah, it's a little bit different. It's way different than actual videos that are there on my channels. So, yeah, the reason I opened Excalibur was because I thought, like, I think, still think that I could write something because most of the thoughts that come to our brain, like, never stops, right? So it'll be like very hard if I don't write them. It'll be very hard to remember all of them because there are like multiple thoughts. Also, you guys will be dealing with some extreme moments of silence where I'll be thinking, and also maybe some extreme uh, talkative small sprints for 2 3 minutes, and then maybe some silence again. This will go on. Uh, you can leave if you want from here on because this, I think there's nothing special that you can uh, gain from this. If you have come from the older videos where I've posted something related to Java or solving lead code questions. That is not what I'm doing here. You can leave it here if you want. So yeah, I think from the past 3 months, a lot happened, and obviously I'm not gonna share all of the things, like not even a single thing what happened, but to the state I'm in, I think uh I think whatever happened was very well needed for my growth. And um yeah, so there are like a lot of things is that I am experiencing right now. I'm uh having some thoughts on it. So I'm sorry for being this super quiet, but I know it's a video and like you guys want something from me. You are probably trying to get what is happening in this video, but I think uh you guys should, like, if you are interested and like curious about what is happening, you should stay here and like find out. Uh, so recently I was watching a YouTube short where from the channel Chris Bumstead. Like whoever is in fitness, they'll know. So Chris Bumstead is a bodybuilder, like a great bodybuilder who has won uh, Olympia multiple times. So Olympia is for the uh, people who don't know. So Olympia is like the greatest uh, like bodybuilder competition that has happened. That is like very big, and like people from all of the world compete over there, and he has won that particular competition multiple times, and like back to back. It was like for 6 7 times at least, and he wasn't like he was very serious about his work and all of the stuff. And I remember what he said was like people or the young generation in specific does not even know what like they are actually trying and learning the emotions. They don't know how to, they are like quite surprised by it when the emotions, like when they're overwhelmed with something or when the emotions take over, they mostly try to fight it. They I'll link the video if I'll be able to find the particular short video that I saw. And he was like talking to some uh, mostly a podcaster. He was in the gym with him, and mostly he was like, yeah. So he told that like the most people are trying to learn trying to learn how to feel emotions, and when it happens, people mostly fight it. And what I mean by fighting it is this was something that Chris Bumstead, Cbum, so his short form is Cbum. So I think this is what he said, and it was not the exact thing that he said, uh, but like almost a version of that same thing. And he was like, whenever something happens with them and people are very overwhelmed by it, people mostly try to feel it. Like whenever they are watching a movie, and he was like he gave a very generic statement, like when you were whenever you watch a movie and like you feel something in your heart, and mostly you're surprised, why are you this sad? It's just a movie, but you're sad, and you're not even processing it. You are basically like shocked and like trying to fight it, that why am why I'm feeling this way, I shouldn't feel this way. This was a very generic statement. When you are watching a movie, you already know that okay, this is the particular reason that I'm sad. Okay, so this character I was like involved with, he died, and he or she died, and I'm sad for that reason. But normally in real life, sometimes something happens, and you basically have this problem where you aren't able to understand what is happening with you. You feel some emotions, and you don't even know the name of that emotion, and you are like very shocked that why I'm feeling this way, and you don't even know why you are feeling this way, and you basically try to fight it, that no, I shouldn't feel this. I shouldn't be able to feel it. But I think human beings have multiple emotions in them, and they don't even know all the emotions. Like most of the people don't even know the emotions. They don't know what they're feeling, and they don't know if the feeling that they're feeling are related, are most of the feelings that we feel are based on survival instincts. And like recently, like very recently, in the past 3 months that I was already talking about, I was very much triggered by something, and it was like constantly triggering my anxiety. And the problems that happened was like I was constantly triggered, my heartbeats were faster, and uh, it was a very bad situation to be in. I couldn't, I wouldn't, like, I wasn't able to know, like, I don't know, I didn't know that the reason why I was that triggered, because the situation that happened was not that extreme. And my logical brain, so normally you have two brains. If uh, you simplify it, first of all, what you have is the emotional brain. So let's say this is your brain, and if you like try to understand, I'm really sorry. Let's say, so if this is the whole brain that you have, if you call it as a brain, then uh yeah, if you call it as a brain, then uh there can be two types. First one is side of the brain, emotional side of the brain, and another one is the logical side of the brain. And like very, like what I have felt and what I am, like from my experience, your emotional side is much stronger than your logical side. So even though you might know something, or you might truly believe in something, some part of you will not care about that particular thing. Even though, if you like, let's say let's say let's give a very real example that happens. uh so yeah, I have a very good example actually. So let's say you are very addicted to something, right? Let's say, be it cigarette, be it mobile, be it anything that you are addicted to right now. Think of it as as the addiction that you have right now. Think of the addiction that you have right now. Think of that particular thing that you have that addiction about on. So if if you try to sit for a moment and try to think that, okay, that logical side of my side knows, if you try to really double down and deep inside try to figure out that is that addiction good for you, and you'll quickly realize no addiction in this world is actually good. It harms you, right? Because addiction means you are consuming something way more than uh, way more than actual need, and that is obviously bad for you. So your logical side knows that. Let me give you this, like, very strongly, let me tell you that try to leave that addiction. Try, like, if that is bad for you, if that is life harming, like cigarette, right? It is not good for your body, right? It is not good for your health, and you know that it deteriorates uh, your uh, lungs, right? So you know it is bad for you, but and you know that for sure, that has that has multiple scientific proofs. It is proved for a very long time that cigarette is bad for you, and it is even written on the packet. But your emotional side, where all the dopamine and all the hormones activates, and basically they are the reason you are not able to leave it. The dopamine hits, the hormones that excretes when you like have when you like double down, or when you like go into this loop again and again, that side of you, that emotional side of you is much stronger than the logical side. So you can be true about something, you can know some certain things, but your emotional side, that won't understand that particular thing. That emotional side of you is like very much non-controllable from the logical side of use. You cannot really control the emotional side. And normally, I don't know since I'm not a psychologist, but normally, I think people or whatever I have tried with myself, I think whatever worked for me, whatever I tried with myself, and everything that I did with myself, I think the best thing that worked with me was to sit with myself, focus on my breaths. Like during my anxiety time, when I was like feeling and I was not knowing what is happening with me, the basic high level thing that you need to do is like you have to sit with it. By it, I mean your emotions. You have to sit with your emotions. Try to see what is happening with you, not try to actually reason out that why is it happening, even if you know that if it is what is the reason that is happening because of. You don't try to actually explain it to yourself. You try to see, you try to actually feel it. You sit there, you try to see what you are feeling and just sit with it for some times until it passes. And you can, there are some methods. Like for me, dealing with anxiety was uh so I saw a box breathing technique. So where you basically, so particularly if this will help you guys, I would like to share it. So if you're right now dealing with anxiety, and if you want to like cure it, like you cannot cure it obviously, uh, but of like over time it can affect you less. Like right now I don't know if it will go like it will be any less than that level that I'm feeling right now, or I was feeling before. But what happens is like when you are anxious, you need to sit with yourself. You have to perform a box breathing technique that might work with you, because it is actually like a very good technique that people use. So you might have heard about it. So the technique is simple. So what the technique is basically, uh, you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold it for 4 seconds, and then exhale for 4 seconds. And you, all over this process, you have to be, you have to like whatever you are comfortable with, but mostly I will suggest you to like close your eyes, and mostly uh try to focus on your breath and like count it. uh Firstly inhale, hold and exhale. That is the technique, and it actually helps. I'm not like the meditation guys. I'm not like the meditation guys who will tell you to meditate or something like that. But if you're really anxious, if your anxiety takes over you, I think box breathing technique will help. This is like apart from this side, I wouldn't uh like talk anything about it. There are multiple videos you can watch if you're really anxious, or like take like help, like serious help. You can hire a psychologist or a therapist and talk about it. You can do that, but normally if you are anxious, I think this works. Other than that, yeah, so I was talking about the two sides of the brain, and emotional side being the much stronger one, who is not controlled by the logical side. And basically can even the emotional side of the brain can even take over your logical side. It can make you things which you don't want to do. So, and all of the emotions that you feel, even if it is in check, if you are feeling it, If the emotions that you feel are checked and if you are feeling it in a controlled manner, in a limiting manner, there is nothing wrong in it. But if it is, if it's very, it is not controlled and it goes out of your hand, then you have to pay for it. Then how you pay for it is basically your emotional brain will take over your logical side and you will start to basically work like a robot. You wouldn't have any control over yourself. If you think you are doing something wrong, you would still do it because your emotional side is craving that thing. So all the cravings that you have, all the things that you like try to have, like you basically feel that I need to do something right now, is basically your emotional side, not your logical side. Logical side is basically practical side. And obviously we cannot be logical all the time, but this is not the topic that we are talking about, right? I think logical side is very important right now. When not right now, like at times it's very important when you have to decide, when you have to really try to see what's like the whether something is good for you, something is bad for you. So like it is very important for you. Moreover, I think we try to fight it. As Cbum said, we try to fight the emotion that we currently feel, or we don't understand the actual emotions. So we try to fight it. We are like, why is this happening to me? Fight it. And that is not good for you actually. Fighting it would make it grow larger. Or if also what happens to me is like if I try to ignore it and do something else, it most of the time it would comes back after a period of time. So I've seen the thing like for the emotional side of mine, I need to have a closure. So at the end of all the anxietiness, like I'm giving the example of anxiety, but any emotions that you feel, if it's like not helping you, if it's making you more irritated or like not at a peaceful state, I think you need to sit down with it and really have a closure with yourself. Sitting with it is the first step and having a closure. Like maybe you are anxious, maybe you are anxious about something, and that's something you have to tell yourself that that's something that happened with you. Can you control it? If you are able to control it, then you have to take some actions, right? Then you know that okay, these are the actions, these are the steps. If you don't know how to take actions, then you cannot basically, like you cannot do anything, right? You can either try to find some actions related to it or like let it go. If the if the anxiety is related to something that you cannot control, then there is no chance that you could have or you can do something. And that is why I think you should let go. You should try to tell yourself that that was in the past or that was in the future. That is not in my hand. And you could only focus on the present. And this is just basically a closure to your brain to actually feel what you are saying. This is mostly done by the logical side of yours. But try to calm down first. Try to sit with the emotions first. If it is very if it is triggering you, if it is making you restless, then no amount of logical thinking, no amount of closure will work. You have to sit with yourself, give it some time, and you have to really do it. This is not something bullshit that I'm talking about. You have to, if you are like really triggered by your own self, if you are really triggered by your emotional side, then you have to sit with it and really focus, like not focus, like you have to sit with it and like be there and try to see what is happening with you, and lastly find the reason why is it happening with you. Try to have a third person look to it, that this is your emotion, this is you, this is affecting you, and the reason that is that the reason why it's affecting you, you try to reason it out. If it's not there, you try to know why is it happening, and then you basically try to have some closure. If you are very confused about it, like if you don't know anything, like not even a single thing, I think the best closure that you can give yourself is like you are deserve to stay at peace, you deserve to be at peace. That is the high level of the thinking. Like you have to give yourself a really good closure, because most of the times when you are anxious, no person is like no person on the earth basically needs to feel anxious until and unless it's related to their controllable actions. Like, so I have heard this quote that I really relate to right now is control the controllables. I would write it. Really write it right now. So control the controllables, right? And I think I don't really know where I heard it. I forgot. I'm really sorry. I don't actually know where I heard it from, but I think it's very important. You have to focus on on the things. What are the things? Like this is basically something that is a closure to yourself, that if it is in my hand, then I can control it, and I should start and then I should plan or start taking actions. So that way the anxiety will change. If it is not controllable, it is not controllable, basically you cannot control it, and maybe something happened, maybe something happened in the past, or maybe something will happen in the future. You don't really know what will happen, or what has happened has already happened, so you cannot control those things. So give yourself some closure to it, for the past moment, maybe for the future moment, and try to gain some control over yourself, so that you can really let go of that particular moment or particular feeling then. So what happens with me, like this is what happens with me, this is how I introspect, and this is how I like figure out what really is needed to deal with certain stuff. So this has worked for me, like the closure thing. Whenever something happens, I think giving a closure to yourself, giving naming the emotions, and trying to learn about them, that why they are the way they why they are the way they are, why you are feeling the way you are, and like trying to see what is happening to you all over, trying to be curious about this side too, helps you to overall like be in a position where you can really introspect and like improve yourself. Like yes, so you can basically have a more control over yourself. So basic high level, like basic what I've told you, basics of what I've just talked is coming up. uh I think this was it. I think we need to sum up the things that I've just said, because I think that is what I wanted to share. So Firstly, is most people are trying to learn how to feel emotions. This is very true. I did it. I was also feeling the same thing. I never knew about anxiety. I never knew that emotions was there in me, but I still acted very uh out the like I wasn't in control when I acted sometimes, and I was very right about it to deal it that way. And continuing the quote, and when it happens, people mostly fight. This was told by the Cbum. So again, your emotions, like your brain has two parts: emotional side, logical side. And the emotional side is basically more stronger, more powerful than your logical side, and it can sometimes override your logical side. So be very cautious about it. Try to introspect, try to see what is happening with you, try to keep yourself in check. And I also shared the anxiety thing that happened to me. And I have shared the box breathing technique that will help you to like calm yourself down. Like whenever anxiety happens or any emotional part of you is very triggered and you are not at peace, basically, you can try something. You can basically uh, try some techniques that will help you calm yourself down. So this is basically the part where you sit with yourself and try to figure out what is happening with you. Try to feel it, not run away from it, not distracts, not get distracted, because it will basically come back. And lastly, I think you need to give yourself a closure that whatever is there, whatever happened, whatever will happen, if it is controllable, you have to start taking actions, you have to plan. If it is not controllable, I think you know what to do. You have to let go, right? So I think that was it. I think that is the thing that I wanted to share. Thank you for watching the video. uh, I don't have much to say uh, other than this, but I think this is how I was dealing with some stuff. How I was dealing with my emotional side of the brain, how I was balancing the emotional side and also the logical side of the brain. And and to be honest, like, I don't find myself to be a very perfect individual to talk about these things, but I think yes, from what I've written or what I've spoken about, all of the things help me. So I think uh I don't know if it will help you guys also, especially the box breathing technique. If like it, I know it works for anxiety and stress, but I don't know about any other emotions that other than that. But yeah, like uh like a hell lot of things matters when like it's not a single thing, it's not a single way where you deal with emotional side of yours. It is not a particular technique, or it is not a particular way of how you deal with emotional side of yours, but I think this is a way that has worked for me, and I felt like sharing it. So yeah, I think that was it. uh uh comment down if you like uh do it, if you like uh really are this introspecting about yourself too. Like I think that will basically give me a sign that also that you people are also there, like really trying to figure out like me, and not fighting it, fighting the emotional side of yours.